I'm Kim.
Hi, I'm Peyton.
And we are on week
17.
And so get out your book, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, and let's start on week 17. So the first thing we have is our Memorize Me music. Do you have it right here? Have you been listening to it in the car? Have you listened to it, Peyton?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let's read it. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds in the air. Throw out some birds in the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet their heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any of you, by worrying, worry a little? Add a single hour to your life, and that is Matthew, put this up, Matthew 6:25 through 27. Can you put it up? Thank you. All right, so here in our box, it says, do not worry about your life. Peyton, do you worry?
Yeah.
You do? Huh.
Sometimes.
Do you? I worry too. And God is saying, don't worry because He's going to take care of us. And so it says, draw our Bible passage for this week as if God is speaking to you. Draw a few birds in the sky and reflect on how much God provides for you. So what are some of the ways that God provides for you, Peyton? Does He provide you with food to eat?
Yeah.
Does He provide you with a really awesome mommy and a really awesome daddy?
I don't know.
Yes. Is your mom? One is, this is by Abraham Lincoln. Do you know who Abraham Lincoln was?
Yeah.
He was what? Who was he?
You forget?
He was a president of our country who ended enslavement of other people.
I forgot.
America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. By Abraham Lincoln. Now, one of the things that George Washington did on his first day of presidency in New York City, remember he wasn't president in Washington, D.C. because Washington, D.C. was just a swamp. So splat some mosquitoes because it was a swamp. You splat some mosquitoes? And so he was in New York City, and one of the first things that he did was he went to a very small church there and he prayed. And he said that may God bless this country, and may we always remember that we are blessed to have this country because of God's provisions. And should we turn away from those provisions, he said that God would bring calamity onto us. So what was he saying, Peyton? George Washington was in this church the very first day of his presidency, and he was saying we need to make sure that we obey and stick with God because He will bless our country as long as we do that. And so it's very similar to what Abraham Lincoln said, that we will destroy ourselves by our own sin on the inside as a nation, and that we will not be destroyed by someone on the outside. So it's something really to talk to your mom and dad about. So our next is science, and it's the air in the atmosphere exerts a force. You got to blow with me. Can you blow? The air in the atmosphere exerts a force called pressure. Here, can you give me some pressure? Pressure! That constantly changes to moving weather systems. A barometer, so we're going to make a barometer this week in science, measures atmospheric pressure. Can we go pressure again? Pressure! Here, we'll go against each other. Pressure! All right, and then we're going to go to the very last one. It's the Compromise of 1850, consisted of laws. So we talked about that last week, right? The Compromise of 1850 consisted of laws admitting California as a free state, creating Utah and Mexico territories with the question of slavery to determine by them, and settling the New Mexico-Texas border with Texas getting more land, and ending slavery in Washington, D.C. And finally, it was easier for Southerners to go back into the North and capture people who'd finally gotten away from slavery and bring them back home. So that was really a sad and wrong thing. Okay, so for our linkette, right here, can you point to the girls? This is Miss Faith, and she is so sweet. And she is in our Purcellville campus, and her sister is Eliana. And this is Charlotte. She's in your campus. Do you know who her siblings are? Her siblings are William and Annabelle. So it says, how little can be done under the spirit of fear. And that's by Florence Nightingale. And Florence Nightingale was a nurse in the Crimean War, which is way over in Europe. And so she was talking about how if she were fearful all the time, she would not be able to be a nurse during the war. Pretty cool, right? So throw up a picture of Florence Nightingale. All right, and finally we have Uncle Tom's Cabin. Can you throw up a picture of Uncle Tom's Cabin? Thank you. And Uncle Tom was, it's in our timeline card, so I'm not going to go through it too much, but Uncle Tom was a man who had been enslaved, and throughout his life, he constantly and consistently did what God would want him to do. So he was a pretty cool guy. So let's give Uncle Tom 2 thumbs up. And we want you to draw a picture of a scene from the story Uncle Tom's Cabin. So if you don't have time to write it, you could make a cabin with maybe an African American man here who was just an extremely good man, or maybe him with his children or something like that. So, and it's just to make us remember that this book woke up the people. So wake up your eyes. Woke up the people to see how horrific slavery was. So that's basically Uncle Tom's Cabin, and the easy thing to do would just be to draw a cabin and a gentleman there who is a very good man. All right? You good? So you guys did a great job. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.